You mutants are dangerous.
You're not going anywhere.
This place takes your greatest fear and makes you live through it. Roberto? Sam? Ileana? Danny? Rain?
We can get out of this together.
This place is designed to keep us inside.
He's right. It's magic.
So am I.
That was so hot.
The New Mutants, rated PG-13, and on July 23rd. Don't miss the New Mutants panel at Comic-Con at Home.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Big surprise, we have a Disney Plus trailer for New Mutants that seems like it's trying to claim that they're going to be releasing the movie on Disney Plus. So I'll try to explain what's going on because this was floating around social media this morning. Everyone was freaking out trying to figure out what was going on. There's a bunch of Comic-Con trailers coming this week. I'll be doing videos for everything, so be sure to subscribe to get all those videos. I'll do a special Comic-Con giveaway during all those videos too. But just starting at the beginning here, if you don't know what's going on, a Disney Plus user in Australia recently recorded this New Mutants trailer that they claim was playing on Disney Plus in Australia with some new scenes and new release date information, seemingly announcing New Mutants would be coming to Disney Plus Friday, September 4th. This is that version of the trailer, and the footage is kind of janky because they captured it with their phone on their TV, but you get the idea.
All of you are dangerous. That's why you're here. Do you know what mutants are?
Hey, new world. This isn't a hospital. It's a cage. Well, it's your power.
Oh my god.
Together, we can get out of this.
The New Mutants.
That was so hot.
So everyone saw this floating around social this morning and wondered if it was real, is it fake, did some fan create this and then post it to Reddit or something like that? Right after this posted, a couple of websites came out claiming that Disney told them that it's fake. But Disney and Disney people have been known to lie about stuff like this in the past. Everybody remember right after Avengers Infinity War, when people wondered what the title for Avengers Endgame was going to be, the Russos did a really big interview where they said, no, the title of Avengers 4 has never been said out loud or spoken in any previous Marvel movies before. Cue the clips.
We're in the endgame now.
We're the Avengers. We can bust arms dealers all the livelong day, but that up there, that's the endgame.
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
So clearly you have to take all those statements with a grain of salt. The reason why directors lie about stuff like that too is normally to protect the movie, like they didn't want to give away the big title for Avengers Endgame before they were ready to. So sometimes you can understand why they're misleading about stuff like that, but normally you would just prefer that they say, we have no comment on what the title of the movie is going to be, or if some information leaks out, you just prefer that they say no comment instead of trying to lie and say something completely different is happening. But number 4, also a number of Twitter users pointed out some things that suggest that the New Mutants Disney Plus trailer was real. For instance, in Australia, the ratings board that adds the ratings to movies, like is it rated R, is it rated PG-13, they have very different logos for their ratings than they do in other countries like the United States. And in this supposedly new trailer, there's an Australian's rating logo localized for Disney Plus in that country. So it's normal for promos and trailers, TV trailers, to look a little bit different in different countries, just based on what their ratings classifications are. Then there's the issue of the new footage playing during this version of the trailer. Where did this come from if some of these scenes that are playing are brand new and some of this dialogue? There's a scene of this infrared hospital monitor with Celia Reyes examining Danny Moonstar, trying to figure out what her powers are. Then there's a scene of Demon Bear crashing through a wall that we haven't seen before in any of the other promos. It doesn't necessarily confirm anything, but it does heavily suggest that New Mutants is coming to Disney Plus for an alternate release plan. Number 3, the most recent release date plans Disney announced a while ago were August 28th all over the world, but that was before all the subsequent virus flare-ups in theaters and a lot of places, including the US, have had to close down again. So you can't even go see a movie if you want some places. There are some countries around the world where theaters have already reopened and they'll stay open and things are totally fine, so depending on where you live, things might not be that terrible. Because of what Disney is saying, you still have to take this Australian trailer with a grain of salt, but it is possible Disney has an alternate, really weird release plan for the movie given what's happening, and they're going to announce that at their big Comic-Con panel later this week. New Mutants, surprisingly, is one of the few movies that's actually going to do a big Comic-Con panel this week. Of course, I'll do a video for whatever they drop, but Marvel isn't doing their regular big Hall H panel with any mega Marvel Phase 4 trailer till later this year. DC's doing the same thing. They're skipping Comic-Con this week to do their own special Comic-Con event called DC Fandom in August. There will be a lot of big trailers coming this summer, so don't worry about that. It's just that when Comic-Con had to cancel the in-real-life version of Comic-Con, everybody just kind of changed their plans for when they're going to release their trailers. The New Mutants Comic-Con panel is supposed to be Thursday afternoon. My early theory last week was that they would announce some special release plan during that involving video on demand and Disney+. The panel's pre-recorded, it's not going to be live. It's just that after Christopher Nolan was forced to reschedule Tenet's release date again this past week, the assumption was that Disney would do the same thing with all of its movies that were coming out in August and September. Like they have Mulan, they have a couple other big movies that were supposed to come out around now. That's all going to change because most theaters in the bigger cities are still closed down. So number 2, just talking about larger Disney Plus plans, in terms of what Disney itself is willing to release on Disney Plus, I think everyone for the most part has just been calling for New Mutants specifically to go video on demand months ago when the whole quarantine lockdown started and theaters were initially closed. Originally, the movie was supposed to come out in March, right at the beginning of the lockdown period. It almost creeped in under the wire, but not quite. The movie is totally cursed. 6 different release dates at this point, I think. Everyone post all your Avengers memes. You thought we wouldn't see you trying to sneak by and get yourself released in a movie theater in New Mutants, but we did. We did notice. Disney's actually already done this with one of their bigger movies this year. If you didn't watch it or you missed that big announcement, it was Artemis Fowl. But the reason why Disney did that with such a big budget movie is mostly because they thought that it would be a box office bomb because it got bad early reviews. And then once it actually came out on Disney Plus, it of course got very bad reviews from everyone else. Here's the difference with New Mutants though. Kevin Feige reportedly was very happy with the version of the movie that they had edited last year. The director Josh Boone claimed that after they finished the most recent cut and Disney officially took over the release, Kevin Feige and the Disney people didn't ask him to make any big changes to the movie. So it sounds like the movie is solid for what it is, and just to be clear, it was always meant to be a smaller Marvel horror movie with X-Men characters set in that universe. A while ago, Fox reportedly wanted to ruin the movie and just make a bunch of changes to turn it into more of a generic, bland teenage superhero movie, but supposedly once Marvel got their hands on the movie, they stopped all that from happening. So they're just kind of treating it like its own small little movie. Relatively speaking, they didn't spend nearly as much money making it as they did other big traditional MCU movies like the Black Widow movie. That's probably why they're more willing to release it on Disney+, just because they don't have as much money to potentially lose. Even though Marvel is releasing the movie, technically it's not meant to be an MCU movie. That's why you have the slightly different Marvel logo rolling at the beginning of all the trailers. It's sort of the same situation they're in with Deadpool 3. Like, will they put the Marvel Studios logo at the beginning of that, even if it's going to be a rated R movie, or is it going to be a different logo, even if the movie isn't necessarily totally connected to the MCU? These are all the big things that you would hope that they would announce at a big Marvel Phase 4 Comic-Con panel. And Ryan Reynolds has said that they're trying to figure out what's going on with Deadpool 3 while also writing the movie. It'll all make sense by the end of the year. But number 1, what does this mean for the Black Widow movie? Because Marvel still has that giant movie to release before the end of the year, hopefully. In the way Kevin Feige talks about theatrical releases, it seems like he's kind of forced into a situation between all the major theater chain owners in Disney who want to make their money back on the movie. And right now, good news is Marvel has not delayed Black Widow again. It's still coming out in November at the end of the year, but Marvel will do a special big Comic-Con style event later this year on their own and just confirm all that stuff. So don't worry too much about it. They'll also release that first Marvel Eternals trailer, the Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer, the WandaVision trailer, maybe some other teasers for Marvel Phase 4 projects. While you wait for all that, you can click here to watch Tom Holland talk about Spider-Man 3 and the new Uncharted movie that he's making. And you can click here to watch Henry Cavill, Superman, build his very first gaming PC. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. I'll see you guys tonight.